Hello everyone, welcome back to the series. We're here in the States for the Watkins Glen International Raceway sprint race. So that means 3 laps with a reversed grid for our race today. The fastest cars will be lining up at the back of the grid due to the reverse grid, and it'll be Striker who leads us off, starting in first for the first time ever in a sprint race. His second front row start in a sprint. He has 2 main race podiums, but yet to score a sprint podium. Sharing the front row with him will be BeamNG, who has also gotten an opportunity to start higher up than he usually would, thanks to the reverse grid, and that's the same for many of the drivers starting at the front today. And in third, we have Wizard, who has not done a sprint race yet, despite being in the series since the second round, and he's missed all of those weekends, unfortunately. But he is starting third for this one, so it's a great opportunity for him to bag some points. And that's the same for Whatch, who is starting fourth, and it's also his first sprint race too, but he is much newer to the series. Sprint races are not new, however, to Bizet, who was our championship leader until last round, where he lost it to Oscar. Starting much higher than Oscar in this sprint race, he'll be trying to get as many points as he can to bring that gap down. And behind him is Bones, who is starting in 6th position. A good qualifying performance from him, but that puts him further back in the sprint. Apex starting in 7th position. He won the first ever sprint from 7th position, so it's definitely possible. Blurry behind him with 2 main race wins and 4 podiums, but only 1 sprint podium to his name, and that was also in the first ever sprint in Hiroshi Raceway. Miko behind them has had pretty mixed results in sprint races, being involved in some early drama in Spa, but then going on to win the last sprint race in Silverstone. Potentially a player in the championship battle, Miko will be wanting to get as many points as possible from this race, and Oscar is our leader in the championship, and he will be wanting to get up the road and get as many points as he can to extend that lead from Blazin. That will be his main target. Sunny, still new to the series, but often fighting for those top spots, and he has gotten a sprint podium in the past, but never won one. And then behind them is Avery, who set the fastest qualifying time and will be starting first for tomorrow's race, but for this one, he'll be starting dead last, so I don't think the win is on the cards, but he'll definitely be able to make up a few spots during the race. Well then, we're set to go for the sprint race here in Watkins Glen. 3 laps and a reversed grid with plenty of chaos yet to come after 3 beeps time. And we're off and underway in the sprint race, and Avery already making up plenty of spots from the back of the grid, and Striker has held the lead so far, confidently ahead of BeamNG as they head into the first corner, and Bones going for a lunge down into corner 1, cars going everywhere, on the track, off the track, whatever works as we head towards the very fast S's, and Avery still making up spots. He's up to 7th now from the back of the grid, getting past Apex there and now onto the tail of Bones, but up at the front, it looks like BeamNG might have a run on Striker. Oh yes he does, and they're side by side heading down towards the bus stop chicane. Whoever breaks later will have the lead, and it looks like BeamNG has gone through on Striker, and Wizard's gone off, and BeamNG was on 2 wheels there. Striker back into the lead, and cars going everywhere. Wizard, BeamNG and Bones all dropping down the order. All of this has given a bit of a lead to Striker, who is now driving away as the rest of the cars come through. Blazin there trying to go around the outside of Whatch for 2nd position, but unable to do so as they head down now 3 wide. And Oscar's spun. Oscar has looped it around, and he's been collected, and Wizard and BeamNG are both off. A massive crash down the back straight, and Sunny has also collected BeamNG, so that's 4 cars now involved. And it's been called a red flag, so the racing will be neutralized. Bones there coming through, he'll be ahead of those cars that aren't able to get going. But it seems as though everyone's been able to recover, except Wizard, who is still stopped on track. There he is, and that will be race over for him, unfortunately, from 3rd on the grid. Let's have a closer look at what happened. So we're on board with Wizard, the car who is now out of the race, and he was going for a move on BeamNG and gets very loose. It's very impressive to save that and make the pass, but then you can just see smoke, and then out of nowhere Oscar appears and into the wall he goes. That's race over for him. Unfortunately, nothing he could do there, and definitely not his fault. Now on board with BeamNG, who is about to get overtaken by Wizard in a quite daring move. They're both almost losing it through that corner, and then he gets a bit of a better sight from Oscar, but then Wizard moving across to try and avoid the incident then clips him, and then he gets collected by Sunny with a secondary impact. Both of those drivers somehow able to continue after that, and here's Sunny's perspective. He'll watch the whole thing unfold right in front of him and then just not be able to do anything. So he barely avoids Oscar and then can just see smoke. Barely avoids Wizard, and then BeamNG comes sliding across the track to collect him, and somehow he is able to continue in this race. We're back on the grid and ready to restart for now 2 more laps of racing after 3 beeps time. And we're off again for the second time here in Watkins Glen, and Pinstriker retains the lead once again. Bones having a bit of a slow start, and Avery making moves down into the first corner, and he dives into second place. 2 cars in 1 corner that he overtakes there, and he's now up 11 spots in the race. Through corner 1 safely, and now we go into the S's. They're going side by side through there. Moves being made, Avery being challenged by X now, but he keeps the spot in second place. And Pinstriker once again with the lead, and by a decent margin as well, as the battling continues behind him, heading now towards the bus stop chicane. Many cars still side by side as we head into the bus stop chicane, and Pinstriker has lost it and he's off, and Avery now gets the lead of the race. He's now joining the track again. That's Bones backwards in the background, but Pinstriker now in 10th place and all the way to the back of the field. He was doing so well for so long, but now Avery, the guy who started dead last in this race, is leading it, and the same 3 cars going 3 wide through this corner, and X is on the grass and in the wall, and he's hit Burning. Burning collects him in another incident down this straight, and Sunny also clipping the back tire there, and that's another big crash in the exact same area, and it's another red flag. The drama continues here in Watkins Glen, and X is now out of the race, unfortunately, trailing Blurry and going for the outside as not to run into the back of Blurry, and just running out of road onto the grass, hitting the wall and spinning across the track. And there is Burning, unfortunately there to collect yet another car, and Sunny also collecting damage, but he'll be able to repair that under the red flag. And let's have a look from Burning's perspective. Here it is, and Burning again caught in an unfortunate accident that is no fault of his own, and then getting collected up, but he survives once again. You can see X on the corner there, and he tried to get around it, but he swerved back to the center of the road at the last minute. If he had stayed on the left-hand side, he might have gotten through safely. So we're going to have to restart this one for the 3rd time here in Watkins Glen. Avery will now lead us away, and Oscar already jumping to the middle of the track, but Bones having a shocker of a start there right at the back of the field, and Avery will be able to keep that lead into the first corner, and Blurry having a massive slide there and only barely catching it in time, but he will keep second place for the moment. Miko now finding himself into the podium spots and up into second, and he's also making a charge through the field this race, but Blurry retakes second position. He is also making an excellent charge through the field in this race. Down towards the bus stop chicane we go, and Pinstriker is wide, and he makes contact with Oscar, and Pinstriker's off. Pinstriker's off. Oscar might have damage, and Burning also losing it there, but Oscar seems to be able to continue on okay. Bones barely avoiding that one. Avery is still leading as they head around the outer loop, and Apex now up into 3rd position, getting past Miko there, who is now in 4th position behind the 2 cousins, Blurry and Apex, who are filling out the podium positions. Behind them are the 2 championship leaders, Oscar and Blazin, and Oscar looking to go for a move around the outside, and he is too far back. He goes way wide, and Blazin keeps the spot for now, but there's only one more lap of racing to go. Avery in the lead, but he is not safe. There's plenty of fast drivers behind him. Sunny almost onto the grass trying to get around there. Oh, and he's off. Sunny's off. We wait to see confirmation, but that could be Sunny out of the race, and it does look like it. Bones getting through, and Sunny isn't going anywhere. It's been a tough race so far for the Hungarian, only his 2nd sprint race of the season. Oh, and Oscar almost into the wall there, using all of the track limits there, and now Blurry has got an amazing run on Avery, and he's going to go around the outside for the lead of the race. Into the final corner, it's Blurry, no, it's Avery who's in the lead, and Avery keeps it, and now Blurry is getting passed by Apex, going from 1st to 3rd in a matter of seconds. This race is certainly not over yet. Miko now trying to get past, and Blurry and Apex still battling, and Apex goes wide, and he rejoins the track slightly ahead of Blurry, but Blurry will have the inside line, and he will zoom on by and get back into 2nd place. Apex now falling back to 3rd, and it's still going side by side through these corners, but Blurry should come out on top, and he does. Miko now also getting into the mix a little bit there, challenging Apex. They're all very close now, the drivers, heading towards the bus stop chicane, and it is the same order as they go through. Blurry, then Apex, then Miko, and not too far behind Blazin and Oscar, who is still taking quite unusual lines. Perhaps he does have a bit of damage on his car, but he's pressing on and trying to get past Blazin. He'll be thinking about the championship picture as he tries to make this move. Those 2 the top in the standings at the moment. The drivers all still very close to each other, but the battle's stagnating for the time being on this final lap, and Avery has a pretty decent gap to the other drivers. They were squabbling with each other and slowing each other down, which has led to a decent gap now for Avery, who's on track for his first sprint win in the series. Oh, and Oscar's hit the back of Blazin, and he's off. He's in the wall. Our championship leader spinning out of control. He's only ahead of 2 cars, but those 2 points are still very valuable as Bones now gets by. An unfortunate end to a difficult race for the driver who is usually so competent and fast. But we're running out of overtaking opportunities for the leaders, and it looks like we might have our first sprint win for Avery, the driver who is set to make history as the first ever winner of a sprint from the very back of the field. He has managed to find the way past every car in the field today, and there are plenty of very fast drivers. So as he rounds the final corner, Avery will qualify first, Avery will start at the back, and Avery will win the sprint in Watkins Glen in an absolutely outstanding drive. And Blurry and Apex will round out the podium places, Miko and Blazin finishing respectively in 4th and 5th. Bones will come over the line there in 6th, and that will conclude an absolutely brilliant sprint race with plenty of drama and action. Avery, of course, taking the win from the very back of the field, Blurry and Apex rounding out the podium, Miko, Blazin and Bones also doing decently, Oscar not having the race he wanted, Pen Striker also things not going to plan as he started from the front of the field. Plenty of crashes and DNFs also in this race. None of these drivers finishing and none of them scoring points. Unfortunately, Burning, Lottie X and Wizard all started up pretty high, so that's a big shame for them. Oscar then will keep the lead, and there are no position changes in the top half of the standings. A few points gained here and there, but nothing really significant that will change the course of a championship picture. Pen Striker will score 1 point, which will get him ahead of Seth, who is not racing in the series anymore. That's 9th position for him, and everyone below either wasn't racing or got no points. Well, that was an outstanding race. I certainly enjoyed it quite a bit. If you want to see more just like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next races that come out. The main race for Watkins Glen will come out the day after this one is released, and you can also go and watch all of the previous races that we've done. This is round 11, so there's a whole 10 rounds that you can go and enjoy, but until then, see ya.